Today, I want to talk to you about 3 tips of how public speaking can help you in your everyday life. If this is your first time here, make sure that you subscribed. Every Friday, I leave tips for you on how public speaking can help you with your life, how you can get better at public speaking, and what you can do in order to get better at public speaking through practice. We not only just teach you tips and tricks here, but we actually help you apply those tips and tricks. So make sure that you subscribe and click that bell so you get every notification for whenever I make a post here. But why is public speaking important? First of all, let's get into that real quick. Why is that important? Because we have to speak publicly every single day. It doesn't matter whether you get on stage, whether you're doing social media content, YouTube, like this video here, doesn't matter what you are doing. It can be a casual conversation as well. That is a little different than actual public speaking, but still, nonetheless, you have to be able to know how to speak, to have that casual conversation, to be able to convey information to somebody, to have a presentation, to speak on video or on stage. So public speaking affects you in all areas of life. If you're not a good speaker, you come off as not confident because you stumble over your words. You stumble over thoughts because you can't formulate them properly and be able to give them out to the person you're trying to speak to or the people that you're trying to speak to. And when you can't convey your message properly, it comes off as if you don't know what you're talking about or you're not confident. For example, when I was in college, I had a friend that very intelligent, very smart, and he was the one that literally did the whole project for our group. It was him, myself, and another guy. And this one guy did all the work for the project. He created the PowerPoint. We made an electronic stethoscope. Some of you may not know, I have a degree in electrical engineering.
Wow, look at this. Do you know what this means?
That's why we made this. We made this electronic stethoscope, or he made this. And he told us what the talking points were, told us how this electronic stethoscope worked, the whole 9 yards, gave us everything. We literally only had to go present. Well, guess what? He got the worst grade of all of us, but he knew everything. But it was because he was nervous and he didn't know how to get past that nervousness when he was presenting. And so because he didn't come off as confident, and really that nervousness probably made it look like he didn't know what he was talking about either, even though he knew more than us, he still got a worse grade. So this is why public speaking is so important for you, whether you're actually wanting to professionally speak on stage or get in front of people or whatever it is. It will help you no matter what, because at some point in our lives, we have to go speak in front of people. We have to convey a message that we want somebody in our lives. If we're trying to get married, we have to make sure that we are able to express our feelings, express what we think, our thoughts, the truth, our opinion, whatever it may be. We have to be able to express all those things. That's why public speaking is so important. The first one is career advancement. If you can convey a message, if you can persuade an audience to understand where you're coming from, you will be able to advance in your career. Every leader has to be able to speak in front of an audience. Every leader, or should, not every leader does or can, but every leader should be able to speak in front of an audience and be able to get people to understand where you're trying to go. Because in public speaking, you have to have that goal. You have to have that endpoint so people can know what message you are trying to share with them. You can't simply just babble on about whatever and then hope they understand it. So public speaking can help you with that career advancement. But not only that, it helps because it positions you as the person of authority because you know what you're talking about. You can speak up in meetings, so you look credible. Going back to my example of the colleague from college who did all the work, but didn't seem like he did the work like he knew anything because he was so nervous. It'll help you even more if you don't quite know everything, because let's face it, there's times where we don't know everything or we're not completely prepared. But if you're good at public speaking, you can get through that because you can know how to create your point, to how to get your point and convey your point. So this is how, again, it helps with that career advancement, that career development. Point number two, boost your confidence. I mean, who's not confident if they can get up in front of a crowd and speak properly, speak concisely, not say all those things, those filler words, the double clutches, things of that nature. If you are able just to get up in front of an audience and speak clearly, speak while you're looking at them rather than looking down, and kind of shuffling your feet, maybe fidgeting your hands a lot, or just kind of keeping your hands in your pockets, whatever it may be. If you can speak clearly and concisely and with some kind of confidence, that's going to help boost your confidence even more, because people are going to want to be like you. If you're able to get on stage and be able to speak in front of others, people are going to come and say, "How did you get good at that? How did you do that?" That confidence is going to start breathing into you, and the flame is going to continue to get bigger and bigger, because you are going to be more confident with you having more and more success. Now, it's not to say that the nervousness, that the unconfidence won't never go away, that it will always be there. It's not that you won't just lose it at some point. It'll always be there. Maybe you were uncomfortable speaking to one-on-one, and then you were uncomfortable speaking up to 10 people in a group, and then there's 100, and then 1,000. At some point, there's going to be a time you're going to be uncomfortable, but that's the thing. You have to continue to work on it. And as you continue to work on these things, when you're speaking to a group of 1,000 people, and then you go back and speak to 10 people, it's going to be a lot easier, because you've already spoken to 1,000. You've spoken in front of this big crowd, and you've done it several times. Is doing one presentation, one speech, that can be nerve wracking. But if you've done 10 or 100 or 1,000 speeches, you're going to be very confident that you can speak, that you're not going to die up there on stage. Because some people think, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to die. I'd rather die." Literally would rather die than go speak in front of people. But as you continue to put in those reps, you're going to build up that confidence. So that's number two. How public speaking can help you is to boost your confidence. Now, number three, what is that? It's critical thinking. Because when it comes to preparing a speech, you have to think critically. You have to think about, what is the end goal in mind? Where am I trying to go with the speech? What point am I trying to convey, or what points am I trying to convey to the audience here? What am I presenting on? How does this fit into the strategy of our company, into the strategy of the speaking event you're at, the conference you're at? Or for somebody's strategy, if you're more in that consulting session versus speaking at a conference where it's kind of more generic based on the audience you have there. But how are you thinking about that end goal in mind? What is that for the people that you're trying to reach? It's going to help you think more critically, become more creative overall, because you have to figure out ways to be able to tie in stories to help craft that message, to help really sink in what that message is for your audience. So critical thinking is a very important thing for you in your career, in your life, in all aspects, because if you can think critically, you can lead people, you can be able to convey that message across. Once again, like I keep saying, but this is so important for you to know, that it'll help you convey that message to your audience. As well, when you're crafting your message, you have to start thinking about, what will the audience think if I say this? How will they react if I say that? Are they going to understand my viewpoint? Are they going to understand the facts that I have? Do I have any facts there? What is my message? These are all things that you're going to start asking yourself to really start thinking critically about, because when you're up there on stage and people can't ask you the questions while you're speaking, you have to make sure you're covering those. And when it comes to public speaking, that's what you're doing, or presentations too. A lot of people think about, I'm going to present on X topic and just talk about it, but they don't give the why solution. All they do is present on the topic, and then everybody's got a bunch of questions. But if you can convey your message and critically think about what your audience is going to ask as you start presenting this, you can cover that. And that way, at the end, there's no questions. It's always great to get questions, but you want it to be questions to get further thoughts on what you presented, not to be able to fill in the gaps that you didn't speak on. So that's the third point of how public speaking can help you in your life is by helping you with critical thinking, to think about the things that people are going to ask before they even ask them, so you can address them when you present. If you got any value out of this episode, make sure that you go subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, let me know any questions that you have that you would like for me to cover on subjects in the future, and share this with a friend. So I want to make sure that everybody can learn more about public speaking so they can get better at that to help themselves develop and become the best versions of themselves. But I appreciate you all and have a healthy and blessed day.